Why you can't stop looking. You pick up your phone without deciding to. Your thumb finds the app before conscious thought arrives. The feed loads and you're scrolling, not looking for anything specific, just scrolling, looking, consuming. The motion is automatic now. You've done this thousands of times, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. The exact number doesn't matter because counting would require you to notice you're doing it. But you don't notice anymore. It's just what your hands do during empty moments, during full moments too. Your thumb has muscle memory now. The exact motion, the precise pressure, the rhythm of scrolling. Your body learned this before your mind registered what was happening. The physical habit is deeper than conscious choice. You're in line at coffee shop. Phone comes out. You're waiting for elevator. Phone comes out. You're on toilet. Phone already out. Every gap in life, every pause, every moment of potential boredom gets filled with scrolling. The gaps have disappeared. There's only scrolling interrupted by necessity. You finish one thing before next thing begins. There's the scroll. The transition between activities is scroll time. You're no longer experiencing transitions. You're scrolling through them. Life became a series of activities punctuated by scrolling, or maybe scrolling punctuated by activities. The feed is infinite. You know this intellectually. There's always more. More posts, more videos, more content, more people performing their lives. The scroll never reaches bottom because there is no bottom. It's designed that way. Engineers call it infinite scroll. Sounds technical, but it's psychological manipulation. Your brain expects things to end. Books have last pages. Movies have credits. Meals finish. But the feed never ends, so your brain never gets signal to stop consuming. You scrolled for 5 minutes, then 20, then an hour disappeared. Where did it go? Into the feed, into the algorithm, into the void inside you that keeps demanding more. Time converted into consumed content. Life converted into scrolling. You've lost entire evenings this way, entire days sometimes. Sat down to check something quickly, looked up, and hours passed. You can't remember what you saw, can't remember what you were originally checking. Just remember scrolling. This isn't accident, this is design. The algorithm knows something about you that you might not admit to yourself. You're empty, not empty like a container that could be filled, empty like a void that generates its own gravity. The emptiness pulls content toward it. The algorithm just facilitates the pull. You open the app when you're bored. That's obvious, but you also open it when you're not bored, when you're anxious, when you're lonely, when you're happy and want to share, when you're sad and want comfort, when you're waiting, when you're working, when you're with other people, when you're alone. You open it when something good happens. Need to share, need to be witnessed. Good experiences don't feel complete until they're posted. The joy itself is insufficient, must be validated, must be seen, must generate metrics. You open it when something bad happens, need comfort, need distraction, need proof that others exist. The pain feels unbearable alone. The phone promises company, delivers only content, but content is better than nothing, or feels like it should be. You open it when you wake up, before your eyes fully focus, before you speak to anyone, before you start your day. The first thing you feed is the void. Morning light enters room, phone illuminates face. Day begins with scroll. This is the ritual now. You open it before bed, the last thing you see before sleep. Other people's curated lives, infinite content. The void gets final feeding before consciousness ends. Blue light suppresses melatonin. Sleep suffers. But the void demanded one more scroll. Just one more. Never just one more. The void inside you has become accustomed to constant feeding. It expects stimulation now. Novel information. Social validation. Dopamine hits. The algorithm learned your void's appetite and serves accordingly. Between these feeding times, you feel it. The pull, the urge, the compulsion. Check the phone, open the app, Scroll the feed. Feed the void. The void is never satisfied. It's void. Satisfaction would mean fullness, but it's definitionally empty. Sometimes you catch yourself reaching for phone with no reason, no notification, no message, just reaching. The hand moves autonomously, seeking the device. The void doesn't need reason. It just needs feeding. You've developed phantom vibration syndrome. Feel phone buzz when it didn't. Your body is so attuned to device that it hallucinates signals. The nervous system adapted to constant connectivity. Now it generates false alerts when real ones don't come fast enough. You're not addicted to social media exactly. You're addicted to trying to fill the void. Social media just made the attempt more convenient. Before phones, you tried other things. Television, shopping, work, substances, relationships, all attempts to fill what can't be filled. But social media is particularly effective at pretending it might work. The infinite feed matches the infinite void. The constant novelty matches the constant hunger. The promise is implicit. Keep scrolling, and eventually you'll find what you're looking for. Except you're not looking for anything. You're just looking. The void isn't seeking specific content. It's seeking cessation of emptiness. But content doesn't fill voids. It just passes through them. The scroll has replaced thinking. Used to have idle thoughts during empty moments. Mind would wander, process experiences, daydream. Now there's only scrolling. The mental space collapsed, replaced by feed. Your thoughts aren't your own anymore. They're interrupted by endless content. The metrics of meaning, how numbers became your worth. The like counter sits beneath your post. 0 likes, then 1, then 5, then 20. Each notification triggers something, a small hit, a tiny validation. The number goes up and something in you relaxes slightly. You posted a photo, not just any photo. You took 12 photos, chose the best one, edited it, applied filters, adjusted lighting, cropped it perfectly, wrote a caption, rewrote the caption, rewrote it again, added hashtags, researched which hashtags perform best, posted at optimal time for engagement, checked analytics from previous posts to determine best posting window. This wasn't casual sharing. This was engineered for metrics. Why? What are you actually doing when you perform this ritual? You're asking the void for validation. You're saying, witness me, acknowledge me, confirm I exist in a way that matters. The likes are supposed to answer. They're supposed to fill something. The metrics promise to measure your significance. Followers mean you're interesting. Likes mean you're valued. Comments mean you're engaging. Shares mean you're relevant. Views mean you're visible. The numbers supposedly quantify your worth, but they don't. They measure engagement, not worth. Engagement is just attention, and attention is just eyeballs temporarily pointed your direction. This has nothing to do with your actual value as conscious being, yet you check the numbers again and again. Has it gone up? How many new followers? How many likes on recent post? Did anyone comment? Did anyone share? The checking is compulsive because the numbers never satisfy. They promise meaning but deliver just numbers. Different platforms have different metrics. Instagram has likes and followers. Twitter has retweets and followers. TikTok has views and likes. YouTube has subscribers and views. LinkedIn has connections and endorsements. Each platform creates its own currency of validation. You're managing multiple metric portfolios, trying to grow them all. The effort is exhausting. Some platforms hide certain metrics now. Instagram hides like counts from others. Twitter limits view counts. They claim this reduces pressure, but you can still see your own metrics. Still check them. Still measure yourself by them. The pressure didn't decrease. It just became private shame instead of public comparison. You see someone with more followers and feel something. Envy maybe, inadequacy. They must be more valuable, more interesting, more worthy. The metrics say so, except metrics don't say anything. They just count. The person with million followers isn't more valuable than you. They're just more visible. Visibility is not value. Attention is not worth. But the void confuses them, thinks maybe if you had million followers, the void would be filled. It wouldn't be. The void would be exactly same size, just more visible. You see someone with fewer followers and feel something else. Relief maybe. Superiority. You're doing better than them. The metrics confirm it. Except better at what? Attracting attention. This is not achievement. This is just measurement of visibility. You've internalized the metrics. They live in your head now. You evaluate experiences by their metric potential. This sunset will get likes. This meal will generate engagement. This outfit will photograph well. You're not experiencing life. You're producing metrics. The algorithm knows your void responds to metrics, so it shows you your metrics constantly. Notifications, updates, analytics, growth charts, dashboard showing engagement rates, all designed to make you feel the numbers matter. You'll keep producing content, and content keeps users scrolling, and scrolling generates ad revenue. You're not the customer, you're the product. Your attention is what's being sold. The metrics are just gamification to keep you producing and consuming. The void is the mechanism that makes it work. People buy followers, buy likes, buy engagement. Literal services exist for purchasing meaningless numbers. They're literally purchasing numbers that mean nothing. But the void demands feeding, and metrics are the currency. So people buy meaningless numbers to fill the unfillable void. The purchased metrics don't even pretend to represent real engagement. Bot accounts, fake profiles, click farms in distant countries, numbers generated by algorithms to fool other algorithms. The entire system is fiction performing for fiction, but the void doesn't care about authenticity. It just wants numbers going up. The absurdity is perfect. You're trading real time and attention for fake numbers that measure nothing important, while feeling like these numbers indicate your value. The algorithm facilitates this exchange and profits from it. Some people become influencers. Their entire existence is metric optimization. They don't create content they want to create. They create content the algorithm rewards. They don't live lives they want to live. They live lives that photograph well. They don't say what they believe. They say what generates engagement. The metrics became their master. The influencer with millions of followers is often profoundly empty. The void isn't filled by attention. It just grows larger. Now they need more followers, more engagement, more validation. The metrics addiction scales infinitely like the void itself. The influencer wakes up and checks metrics. Middle of night, checks metrics. During conversations, checks metrics. The numbers define their day. Good numbers mean good day. Bad numbers mean bad day. Their emotional state is entirely metric dependent. This is what success looks like in attention economy. Complete dependence on numbers. You see this and think, but I'm not like that. I just use social media casually. Except you check your likes. You feel something when post performs well. You feel something when it doesn't. You delete posts that don't get enough engagement. You try different content strategies. The void responds to metrics even when you pretend it doesn't. You've had dreams about metrics, woke up thinking about follower counts, had anxiety about post performance. This is how deep the metrics go. They invaded your unconscious. The numbers haunt you even while sleeping. The liberation would be recognizing metrics measure nothing about your worth. They measure only how well you played the engagement game, and the game is designed to be unwinnable because winning would mean you stop playing. Your great-grandmother never knew her metrics, didn't know how many people paid attention to her, didn't measure her worth in numbers, lived and died without quantifying her significance, and her life was complete, had meaning without metrics, was valuable without validation counters. The metrics aren't necessary. They never were. The performance of living, why your life became content. You went to dinner, nice restaurant, food arrived, looked good. First instinct, photograph it. Not because you want photograph, because it might perform well. The food got cold while you found the angle, got the lighting right, chose the filter, wrote caption about the experience you hadn't experienced yet because you were photographing it. You weren't experiencing dinner, you were producing content about dinner. The experience became secondary to its potential as post. This happened gradually. First you shared occasionally, special moments, weddings, vacations, big achievements. Then regularly, interesting moments, good meals, nice views. Then constantly, all moments. Morning coffee, afternoon walk, evening TV. Now you're not sure which moments are worth experiencing unless they're worth posting. Your life became content library. Experiences are evaluated by their shareability. The sunset is beautiful, but how will it photograph? The vacation is fun, but will it generate engagement? The relationship is meaningful, but how does it look online? The achievement is satisfying, but will it impress others? Every experience passes through filter now. Is this postable? Before experiencing it, during experiencing it, after experiencing it. The question never stops. The evaluation is constant. Life became audition for social media. You're performing your life for audience of people who are also performing their lives for you. Everyone is both performer and audience, but nobody is actually living. They're all producing content. The performance requires curation. You don't post everything. You post the good parts, the attractive parts, the parts that suggest your life is interesting, successful, enviable. The rest is edited out. Depression, boredom, failure, ordinariness, sickness, sadness, struggle. These don't perform well. You had bad day, really bad. Nothing worked. Everything failed. You felt terrible. But you posted photo from good moment earlier in week, with caption suggesting today was great. The performance and reality completely diverged. Nobody seeing your content knows your actual life. They're seeing your content strategy. The result is everyone performs happiness while feeling empty. Everyone performs success while feeling inadequate. Everyone performs connection while feeling lonely. Everyone performs confidence while feeling insecure. The performance and reality diverge completely. You see other people's curated performances and compare them to your uncurated reality. This is insane comparison. You're comparing their highlight reel to your behind-the-scenes footage. Obviously you come up short, but they're doing the same thing. They see your curated performance and compare it to their messy reality. Everyone is losing a comparison game where everyone is cheating by only showing their best angles. Nobody posts the arguments, the anxiety, the failures, the rejections, the boring evenings alone, the financial stress, the health problems, the family issues. These don't photograph well, don't generate engagement, don't fit the performance. The algorithm encourages this. Posts that suggest perfect life get more engagement. Posts that show struggle get less. Posts that admit weakness get buried. Posts that project strength get amplified. So everyone is incentivized to lie about their experience, to perform happiness they don't feel, to project success they haven't achieved. You went to beautiful location, spent 15 minutes getting the perfect photo for Instagram, considered angles, considered lighting, considered composition, had your companion take multiple shots, reviewed them, retook them, finally got one that worked, spent rest of time scrolling Instagram, looking at other people's photos from other beautiful locations. You traveled to produce content about traveling while consuming content about traveling. The actual traveling barely registered. You experienced beautiful moment through camera screen, watched sunset through phone, saw concert through recording interface, witnessed child's milestone through video mode. The mediation became total, direct experience nearly impossible, everything filtered through content production. Your relationship became content category, couple photos, relationship milestones, anniversary posts, public declarations of love, carefully staged moments of intimacy. Not because you feel it more when you share it, because sharing it generates validation. The relationship performance becomes confused with actual relationship. You fought with partner, bad fight, real conflict. but next day posted cute couple photo from last week with caption about how grateful you are for them. The performance continued regardless of reality. Maybe the performance was an attempt to manifest the reality you wanted. Maybe it was just algorithmic obligation. When relationship ends, you don't just grieve the person, you grieve the loss of content source. You grieve the couple identity you performed online. You grieve the story you were telling about your life. You have to decide what to do with the archive. Delete the couple photos, leave them up. Each choice has meaning. The ending became content management problem. The performance layers over the reality until you can't separate them. You're not sure what you actually felt versus what you performed feeling. The memories are contaminated by documentation. You remember taking photo more vividly than moment itself. Some people perform activism. They post about causes, share infographics, add hashtags to their bio, repost news articles. This isn't activism. This is performance of activism. Real activism requires work. The algorithm doesn't reward organizing, showing up, sustained effort, unglamorous work. But performing activism generates metrics, so people perform instead of doing. The algorithm knows performing is easier than doing, so it rewards performing. You post about climate change, feel like you contributed, but you just generated content. The actual climate remains unchanged. Your carbon footprint is same, but your metrics went up. The performance substituted for action. You perform productivity, post about your morning routine, your workout, your healthy breakfast, your focused work session, your optimized schedule. The performance of productivity replaces actual productivity. You spend more time documenting the routine than doing it. You wake up early to photograph morning routine, takes extra hour to stage and photograph breakfast, workout gear, workspace. By time you finish photographing productivity, time for actual productivity has passed. But you have content. The performance succeeded even as the activity failed. You perform growth, post about lessons learned, wisdom gained, personal development, books read, courses taken, insights discovered. But the posting is itself avoidance of growth. Real growth is internal, uncomfortable, unmarketable. Performance of growth is external, easy, engagement generating. The posted lesson is usually lesson you need to learn, not lesson you've learned. You're performing the wisdom you lack. Maybe the performance is aspirational. Maybe it's deceptive. Either way, it's performance. You perform gratitude, daily gratitude posts. Thankful for this, grateful for that. The performance of gratitude might be real gratitude, or might be what you think you should feel, or might be what generates engagement. You're not sure anymore. The performance and feeling merged. The performance exhausts you because you're maintaining fiction while living reality. You perform having life together while life falls apart. You perform happiness while feeling miserable. You perform success while failing. You perform confidence while drowning in insecurity. The cognitive dissonance is constant. The void promises that if you perform well enough, the performance might become real. If enough people believe your curated life, maybe it will become true. If you perform happiness long enough, maybe you'll feel happy. If you perform success consistently, maybe you'll become successful. But it doesn't work that way. The performance and reality remain separate. The void remains empty. The comparison machine, why everyone else seems better. You open Instagram. First post, someone on vacation in Bali. Beautiful beach, perfect body, looks effortlessly happy. Crystal clear water, perfect sunset, living their best life. You're on your couch, normal body, wearing old clothes, feel average. The comparison is immediate and automatic. Second post, friend got promotion, celebrating success, new title, new salary, new office, new opportunities. Grateful for the journey. You're stuck in same job, same salary, same cubicle, same problems. The comparison happens faster than thought. Third post, influencer with perfect home, perfectly decorated, perfect lighting, perfect aesthetic, Everything coordinated, everything beautiful, everything aspirational. Perfect life, apparently. Your home is messy, dishes in sink, laundry unfolded. Your life is messy. You feel messy. Fourth post, couple in love. Looking at each other adoringly. Perfect chemistry, perfect moment. Public declaration of commitment. Anniversary post, date night photo. Relationship goals. You're single, or you're in relationship that doesn't photograph as well. Relationship that has normal problems, arguments, boredom, complications. The comparison is inevitable. Fifth post, someone's perfect body, fitness transformation, progress photos, hard work paying off, dedication showing, inspiring others. You look down at your body, feel inadequate. You should work out more, diet better, try harder. This is the comparison machine. Post after post showing you people who are better, happier, more successful, more attractive, more interesting, more everything. The algorithm knows comparison drives engagement, so it serves you endless comparison opportunities. The posts aren't reality. You know this intellectually. Everyone curates, everyone filters, everyone lies with their angles and lighting and editing. The beach photo was one moment in week of travel. The promotion post didn't mention the anxiety. The perfect home is one corner that's clean. The couple fights off camera. The fitness body is perfect lighting and flexing. But knowing this doesn't stop the comparison. Your brain compares automatically, before conscious thought can intervene, before rationality can object. The emotional response happens in milliseconds. You feel inadequate immediately. The intellectual knowledge comes later, too late to prevent the feeling. The comparison always finds you lacking. This is how comparison works. You're comparing their performance to your reality, their carefully curated best moments to your unfiltered average moments, their highlight reel to your blooper reel, their public face to your private struggle. The comparison is rigged against you from the start, but you keep scrolling, keep comparing, keep finding yourself insufficient. The void inside you grows larger with each comparison. The emptiness increases, so you scroll more, seeking something to fill it. But the feed only provides more comparison. You see someone your age who achieved more, started company, published book, got married, had kids, bought house, built empire. Your achievements suddenly seem inadequate. Maybe you haven't achieved enough. Maybe you're behind. Maybe you're failing at life. But behind what? According to whose timeline? Failing at what game? The comparison creates arbitrary standards you didn't choose, then measures you against them, then finds you wanting. This is manufactured inadequacy. You were fine before you opened the app. Then the comparison machine showed you everyone better than you. Now you feel insufficient. The inadequacy is produced, not discovered. You see someone with better body, fitter, more attractive, more toned, more muscular, better proportions, takes better photos. You look down at your own body, feel disappointed, feel disgusted even. Maybe you should work out more, diet more, try harder. But your body is just body. It doesn't need to be Instagram worthy to be sufficient. Your body functions, carries you through life, experiences things, feels things. This is enough. But the comparison machine says it's not, says it should also be beautiful, photogenic, admirable, worth posting, worth metrics. You see someone with better relationship, more romantic, more passionate, more perfect, more photogenic, more aspirational. You look at your relationship, feel dissatisfied. The dates aren't as nice, the photos aren't as good, the romance isn't as visible. Maybe your partner isn't enough, maybe you're not enough, maybe you're missing something. But the perfect relationship online is performance, selected moments, staged photos, calculated captions. The real relationship is in the boring, uncurated moments. Morning breath, annoying habits, conflicts, compromise. The comparison between performance and reality is meaningless. You see someone with better life, more adventure, more experiences, more travel, more excitement, more living. Your life suddenly seems small, boring, insufficient, wasted, but their life is edited highlights. Your life is complete picture. The comparison is between different types of information. You see someone with better career, more impressive title, more important company, more meaningful work, more impact. Your career suddenly seems inadequate. Your work seems pointless. Your impact seems invisible. But you're comparing your inside view of your career to their outside performance of theirs. You see someone with better style, better aesthetic, better taste, better sense. Everything they wear looks perfect. Everything you wear feels wrong. But they're showing you what works, not showing you what doesn't. The performance is selective. Your reality is complete. The algorithm amplifies comparison by showing you content slightly better than your own. If you're fit, it shows you fitter people. If you're successful, it shows you more successful people. If you're attractive, it shows you more attractive people. Always slightly out of reach. Always implying you could be better if you tried harder. This is psychological torture you voluntarily subject yourself to. You open the comparison machine daily, multiple times daily. Let it show you all the ways you're insufficient. Feel the void grow larger, then scroll more to try filling it. The cycle is perfect. The suffering is continuous. Some people quit comparison by becoming the comparison. They transform themselves into the impossible standard. Get the perfect body, create the perfect life, photograph everything perfectly. They think this will fill the void, but becoming the unattainable standard doesn't fill the void. It just makes the void more visible. The influencer with perfect life still feels empty. The fitness model with perfect body still feels inadequate. The success story still feels insufficient. Because the void isn't created by lacking external things. It's just void. It exists regardless of circumstances. The comparison machine profits from your emptiness. The more inadequate you feel, the more you consume. The more you consume, the more ads you see. The more ads you see, the more products promise to fix your inadequacy. The products don't work, but you keep buying because the void keeps demanding, because the comparison keeps generating inadequacy that needs fixing. You know intellectually that comparison is pointless. Everyone's life is different. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's curated performance is lies. Everyone's timing is unique. Everyone's circumstances are incomparable. But the void doesn't respond to intellectual knowledge. It responds to emotional triggers, and comparison triggers it perfectly. The comparison machine is always on, always running, always generating inadequacy. You can't turn it off while using social media, because comparison is the mechanism. The inadequacy is the point. The void growing larger is the goal, because larger void demands more filling. More filling generates more scrolling. More scrolling generates more profit. The infinite feed of impermanence. Why nothing you see matters tomorrow. You scrolled for an hour, saw hundreds of posts, videos, photos, stories, memes, news, updates, absorbed massive amount of information. Now try to remember specific content you saw. Try to recall exact posts. Try to describe specific videos. You can't. Not most of them anyway. Maybe you remember one or two things. The especially funny video, the particularly upsetting news. But the vast majority disappeared immediately after consumption. It went into your eyes, registered briefly in consciousness, then vanished completely. You spent an hour consuming content that evaporated instantly. This is the feed. Infinite content with zero permanence. It's designed for immediate consumption and instant forgetting. The forgetting isn't bug in your memory, it's feature of the feed. The content isn't designed to be remembered, it's designed to be consumed. Quickly, effortlessly, endlessly. If you remembered everything, the feed would feel repetitive. But forgetting enables endless consumption of essentially similar content. Yesterday you scrolled, saw different hundreds of posts. Can you remember those? Probably not. What about last week? Definitely not. Last month? Impossible. Last year? The content was disposable. You consumed it, and it's gone. Your memory processed it like junk food. Consumed, processed, eliminated, forgotten. This reveals something uncomfortable. If you can't remember it, did it matter? You gave your attention, your time, your life to consuming content that left no trace. An hour of existence converted into forgotten information. Life converted into vanished content. The impermanence is feature, not bug. If posts stayed relevant, you'd eventually run out of new content. Eventually you'd see everything. Eventually you'd stop scrolling. But if posts become irrelevant immediately, there's always more to consume. The feed must be infinite because your void is infinite, and content must be disposable because your attention is limited. You see news about crisis, war, disaster, injustice, suffering, people dying, systems failing. You feel something, concern maybe, anger, sadness, horror. The crisis feels urgent, feels important, feels like it should matter. Then you scroll. Next post is funny video. Cat doing something, person falling, joke told well. You laugh. The crisis is forgotten, completely forgotten, like it never happened. Your attention already moved on. The urgency evaporated, the importance dissolved. This isn't callousness. This is the feed's design. It mixes everything together, important and trivial, serious and silly, meaningful and meaningless, life and death and entertainment. Everything gets equal weight, which means nothing gets weight. Everything is equally content, equally consumable, equally forgettable. You see posts about friends' achievement, graduation, promotion, engagement, birth, something important to them. You feel happy for them, briefly, genuinely happy. You like the post, leave congratulations comment maybe, then scroll, see ad for product, see meme, see news article, see vacation photo, see food photo, see motivational quote, see political post, see celebrity gossip. The friend's achievement is already forgotten, already buried under 20 other posts. It was just content, already replaced by more content. The story feature made impermanence explicit, content that disappears after 24 hours, not even pretending to have lasting value. Consume it now because it will vanish. This should reveal the emptiness of the entire system. Content so meaningless it deletes itself automatically. But instead, people create more disposable content. Lean into the impermanence. Accept that nothing here lasts. You posted something weeks ago, got lots of likes at the time, felt validated, felt seen, felt important. Now nobody sees it. It's buried under infinite new content. The validation was temporary. The visibility was brief. The metrics already meaningless. The post might as well not exist. Your entire archive of posts is just graveyard of forgotten content. You spent hours creating each post, chose photos carefully, wrote captions thoughtfully, posted strategically. They generated brief attention. Now they're invisible. Nobody scrolls back through archives. The effort was real. The result was ephemeral. The void consumed all of it. This is perfect metaphor for social media relationship with meaning. It promises significance, offers only impermanence. You're producing content that matters for hours or days, then vanishes into the archive. Nobody scrolls. The significance was illusion. The impermanence is reality. The algorithm knows you won't remember, so it can show you same types of content repeatedly. You won't notice. You'll consume it again, react again, forget again. The loop is infinite because your memory isn't. You see video you saw before, but you don't remember seeing it before, so you watch it again, react again. It's new to you, even though it's not new. The forgetting enables repeated consumption of essentially identical content. You formed opinion based on post you saw. The post was probably wrong or misleading, oversimplified complex issue, presented one side, used manipulated statistics, but you forgot you saw it. Now the opinion remains without source. You can't remember where you got this view, just that you have it. You're walking around with views shaped by forgotten content. Your mind is landfill of disposable information. Millions of posts consumed and forgotten, but they left traces, subtle influences, unconscious biases, emotional residues. You can't remember the content, but it shaped you anyway. The forgetting doesn't mean no impact, just means unconscious impact. The feed makes everything equally forgettable, which makes everything equally meaningless. The profound and the trivial get same treatment, same format, same engagement mechanisms, same brief appearance in feed, same instant disappearance. You watched video that moved you, maybe made you think, maybe changed your perspective briefly, made you feel something real, but it was in your feed, mixed with ads and memes and content and noise. The meaning dissolved. Within minutes you couldn't even remember what the video said, just that you felt something, then scrolled to next thing. This is how the void operates. It accepts infinite input, processes nothing, retains nothing, demands more input constantly. The feed is perfect void food, infinite, disposable, meaningless, immediately forgotten, immediately replaced. The void stays empty while being constantly fed. The impermanence should make you question the entire activity. If nothing you see matters tomorrow, why spend hours looking today? If you can't remember what you consumed, why consume it? If the content is disposable, why treat it as important? Why give it your time, attention, life? But the void doesn't respond to logic. It just demands feeding. The impermanence doesn't discourage consumption. It enables it. You can consume guilt-free because nothing matters anyway. It's all just scrolling, all just content, all just passing time, all immediately forgotten. You're passing your life consuming content that vanishes, converting your limited existence into forgotten information. The hours add up, the days accumulate, the years pass, all of it scrolled through, all of it forgotten, all of it gone. The connection that isolate why you feel alone together. You have 500 friends online, 50,000 people following your account. Your posts get hundreds of likes, dozens of comments, thousands of views. You're connected to thousands of people, more connected than any human in history, and you feel completely alone. This is the paradox. Maximum connection, maximum isolation. How did this happen? You scroll through feed, seeing friends' lives, their photos, their updates, their thoughts, their experiences. You're witnessing their existence, but you're not experiencing them. You're consuming content about them. This isn't connection. This is observation. This is surveillance. This is spectatorship. They're doing the same with you. Seeing your posts, liking them maybe, watching your stories, but not connecting with you. Just acknowledging your content exists. This isn't friendship. This isn't relationship. This is mutual content consumption. Real connection requires presence, being there, physically there if possible, mentally there at minimum, attention, reciprocity, vulnerability, showing up, sitting with someone, talking, listening, actually listening, being there, actually being there. Social media offers none of this. It offers performance and spectatorship. You messaged friend, asked how they're doing. They saw it. 3 hours later, they react with emoji, thumbs up, heart. This is the connection now. Asynchronous, minimal, reduced to symbols. You're not talking. You're exchanging signals that communication might happen eventually. You used to call people, have actual conversations, hear their voice, hear the tone, hear what they're not saying, make plans, make real plans, to meet, to be together, to actually connect. Now you like their posts, they like yours. This counts as friendship maintenance, but it isn't. The friendship is dying while the connection metrics stay high. You're lonely, so you open social media, see people, hundreds of people, thousands of people, all posting, all sharing, all present somehow. Feel connected briefly, but you're not with people. You're looking at their performances. The loneliness doesn't decrease, it intensifies. You're surrounded by humanity while being completely isolated. The void responds to this by demanding more connection, more scrolling, more posts, more engagement. Surely more social media will fix the loneliness that social media creates. It doesn't. It can't. It's designed not to. Because if it fixed loneliness, you'd stop using it. You see friend having fun without you. They posted photos, group gathering, laughing together, connected. You weren't invited. Or you were but couldn't go, or didn't know it was happening. Seeing it online makes the exclusion worse. The FOMO is manufactured by seeing everyone else's edited presence while experiencing your unedited absence. You see everyone else having better social lives, more friends, better friends, more fun, better experiences, more connection. Your social life seems inadequate by comparison, but you're comparing their public performances to your private reality. They're also lonely, also scrolling, also performing, having connections while feeling isolated. You used to call friends, have conversations, make plans, schedule things, show up to things, be present at things. Now you like their posts, they like yours, comment occasionally, message when remembering. This counts as staying in touch, but the touch is minimal, digital, barely there. The algorithm shows you everyone's best moments, everyone's gatherings, everyone's connections, everyone's fun. Everyone else seems to have better friendships, deeper connections, more fun. You feel isolated by comparison. The connection machine creates isolation through comparison. You're at gathering with friends. Everyone is on their phones, checking feeds, posting about being together, taking photos of connection, staging moments of fun, but nobody is actually present. You're physically together while being digitally separate. The phones mediate everything. The actual connection barely happens. The conversation stops every few minutes for someone to check phone, show something on phone, take photo for phone. The phones interrupt continuously. The connection is fragmented. The presence is partial. You're together but not really together. The photo gets posted, group shot, everyone poses, smiles for camera, looks happy, looks connected, looks together, posts it with caption, "Great night with friends. So lucky to have these people. Best crew." The performance of friendship documented, the actual friendship neglected during documentation. You have deep conversation with someone, meaningful exchange, real connection, vulnerability shared, understanding reached. First instinct, vague post about it. Share the fact that you had meaningful conversation without sharing details, had the best talk with someone special. The connection immediately becomes content. The performance replaces the experience. The private moment becomes public performance. Online relationships feel intense. You're messaging constantly, sharing everything, feeling close, feeling connected. But you've never met, never been in same room, never breathed same air, never shared actual space. The connection is text-based, image-based, not human-based. When you meet in person finally, the connection often dissolves. It was only ever digital, only ever mediated, only ever performance. You're in long-distance relationship. Social media makes it possible, makes it bearable. You can see each other's lives, stay connected across distance, share moments despite separation. But the connection through screens isn't same as presence, isn't same as touch, isn't same as being there. The relationship becomes curated updates, scheduled video calls with performative happiness, good morning texts, good night photos, performance of intimacy without physical intimacy. You're performing relationship for each other and for audience. The performance might be all there is. Some people have more online friends than real ones, more online relationships than offline ones. They've become skilled at digital connection, fluent in online communication, comfortable with screen-based relationships. But digital connection isn't connection, it's connection simulation. The void isn't filled by simulated connection any more than by any other content. The isolation is profound because you think you're connected. You have friends, followers, engagement, messages, interactions. The metrics suggest connection. The activity suggests relationship. But metrics don't measure actual human connection. Activity doesn't create real relationship. They measure content interaction, masquerading as human connection. You could delete all social media tomorrow. Would your relationship survive? Some would. Those were real connections. They existed independent of platforms. Many wouldn't. Those were content-based associations, platform-dependent performances. The distinction would become immediately obvious. Most friendships wouldn't survive the deletion. The relationships that would survive are the ones you maintain outside platforms. Call regularly, visit occasionally, show up for, be present with. These are real. These would continue. The rest would vanish, like the content they always were. The liberation is recognizing that connection can't happen through feeds, can't happen through likes, can't happen through comments, can't happen through stories. It requires presence, time, attention, vulnerability. Things social media actively discourages. The algorithm wants you scrolling alone, not connecting with humans. Connection would mean you stop consuming. Loneliness keeps you scrolling. The addiction by design, how they built the hook into your brain. You feel your phone buzz. Maybe you're not sure if it actually buzzed or if you imagined it, but you check anyway. Pull it out, look at screen, nothing there, no notification. You imagined it. This happens dozens of times per day. The phantom buzzes, the imagined alerts, the compulsive checking. This is not accident. Your nervous system adapted to device, anticipates notifications, generates phantom sensations when real ones don't come. You've been conditioned like Pavlov's dogs, except the bell is phantom and the food never comes. But you keep checking. The pull to refresh gesture. You drag down the screen, release, watch it load. New content appears, or doesn't, but you do it again anyway, and again. This gesture was designed to mimic slot machine lever. The variable reward system. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. This keeps you pulling. Slot machines are most addictive when rewards are unpredictable. Sometimes you win big, sometimes small, sometimes nothing. The unpredictability creates compulsion. Pull to refresh works identically. Sometimes great content, sometimes okay content, sometimes nothing. The unpredictability keeps you refreshing. The infinite scroll. No bottom to reach, no natural stopping point, no end marker. You just keep scrolling until something interrupts, until battery dies, until someone calls, until you pass out. Designed this way intentionally. If feed ended, you'd stop consuming. Infinite scroll ensures consumption never stops naturally. Before infinite scroll, websites had pages. You'd reach bottom, click next page. The action created pause, moment to consider continuing, moment to stop. Infinite scroll eliminated the pause, eliminated the moment of choice, eliminated the stopping point. Now there's only continuing until external interruption. The notification badge, little red circle with number, sitting on app icon, indicates something needs attention, something waiting, something you're missing, must be cleared. You open app to clear it. But clearing it just exposes you to feed, which leads to scrolling, which leads to time disappearing. The badge is hook. The badge creates urgency, social obligation. Someone interacted with you, must respond, must check, must not leave them waiting. The urgency is manufactured. The notification could wait hours, days even, but the badge makes it feel urgent, demands immediate attention. The streaks, days in a row using app. Snapchat pioneered this. Now everywhere. Must maintain streak, can't break it. Built consistency over days, weeks, months. Breaking it feels like losing something. Artificial commitment device creates obligation to use app daily, even when you don't want to. The streak becomes master. The streak is pure gamification, meaningless number going up. But humans respond to progress metrics, to maintaining things, to not losing what we've built. The streak exploits this, makes you use app to maintain meaningless number. You know it's meaningless, but you maintain it anyway. The likes, hearts, upvotes, reactions, little dopamine hits every time someone validates your content. Notification arrives. Someone liked your post. Dopamine releases. Brain records. Posting content gets reward. Do it again. This is operant conditioning. Behavior is rewarded randomly. Random rewards are more addictive than consistent ones. The algorithm knows this. Sometimes your post gets lots of likes. Sometimes few. Sometimes none. The unpredictability creates compulsion. Check the likes. Check again. Check repeatedly. Maybe more came. The variable reward schedule hooks you completely. The autoplay. Video ends. Next video starts automatically. You didn't choose to watch it, didn't click anything, but you're watching anyway. Attention was captured and held. By time you realize it, you've watched 20 videos. All of them autoplayed. All of them consuming time you didn't decide to give. Autoplay removes friction. Before autoplay, you'd watch video. It would end. You'd decide whether to watch another. The decision created pause. Moment of choice. Autoplay eliminates choice, eliminates pause, keeps you consuming automatically. The suggestions, people you may know, posts you might like, similar content, because you watched. The algorithm pretends to be helping, serving relevant content, but it's hooking, keeping you engaged, making you think maybe the next suggestion will be important. It never is, but you keep checking. The suggestions are always slightly compelling. Algorithm knows what hooks you, shows you content calculated to keep you scrolling. The suggestions feel helpful, feel relevant, but they're just manipulation, optimized attention capture. These aren't features, these are addiction mechanisms, borrowed from casinos, refined through A/B testing, optimized to capture attention and hold it. Every element tested, every detail measured, every interaction optimized. The companies know what they're doing. The addiction is the point. Engineers in Silicon Valley literally say they're trying to capture attention. The phrasing reveals the frame. Capture. Like hunting. Like trapping. Your attention is resource to be extracted. Like oil. Like minerals. Like data. You're not user being served. You're source of resource that's being harvested. The engineering teams have metrics. Time on platform. Daily active users, monthly active users, engagement rates, session length, return rates. These metrics measure addiction. How hooked are users? How often do they return? How long do they stay? The better these metrics, the more successful the addiction design. The designers of these systems don't let their own children use them. Steve Jobs didn't let his kids use iPads. Tech executives send their children to schools without screens. They know what they built. They know it's harmful. They protect their families from it, but they deploy it to everyone else. They profit from everyone else's addiction while protecting their own children. The average person checks phone 96 times per day, every 10 minutes while awake. This is not organic behavior. This is not natural impulse. This is conditioned behavior. The conditioning was intentional. The frequency is designed. The compulsion is engineered. You've tried to quit. Deleted app. Lasted a day, maybe a week if you're strong, then reinstalled it. The pull was too strong. The FOMO too intense. The compulsion too powerful. Because it's not just habit. It's designed addiction. The system is built to be irresistible. The apps track everything. How long you look at posts. What makes you stop scrolling. What makes you engage? What makes you leave? What brings you back? This data feeds algorithms that get better at holding attention, better at hooking you, better at keeping you. The system learns your void's shape, then serves content that exploits it. Machine learning optimizes the addiction continuously. Every day the algorithm knows you better. Every day it gets better at hooking you. Every day the addiction mechanisms improve. You're competing against a system that learns from billions of users, that has unlimited resources, that has no incentive to release you. You feel bad after scrolling, empty, hollow, wasted, ashamed, guilty. This should make you stop, but it doesn't, because the bad feeling drives you back to scrolling. The void feels worse when not fed. so you feed it more. The cycle is self-reinforcing. The addiction creates discomfort that drives more addiction. The companies call this engagement. Sounds positive, sounds voluntary, sounds mutual, but it's manipulation. They're engaging you the way trap engages animal. The goal is capture and retention. Your well-being is irrelevant. Your happiness is irrelevant. Your mental health is irrelevant. Your time is irrelevant. Your attention is everything. The algorithms optimize for time spent on platform, not user happiness, not mental health, not well-being, not life satisfaction, just time. More time equals more ads, equals more money. The optimization is ruthless and effective. Everything that increases time on platform gets amplified. Everything that decreases it gets eliminated. Some former executives have apologized, said they feel bad about what they built. Sean Parker called social media, "God knows what it's doing to our children's brains." Chamath Palihapitiya said social media is ripping apart the social fabric. They apologized, said they feel bad, that they took the money, built the systems, deployed them globally, hooked billions of people. The apologies are empty. The damage is done. Billions of people are hooked, including children. Entire generation growing up, addicted to devices, addicted by design, addicted intentionally, addicted for profit. You know it's bad for you, like cigarettes, like alcohol, like any addiction, but you keep using it because addiction doesn't respond to knowledge, doesn't respond to willpower, doesn't respond to intention. It responds to design, and the design is perfected, every detail optimized, every interaction engineered, all of it building toward one goal: keep you scrolling. The void inside you is natural, part of being conscious being, but the exploitation of it is designed. The algorithm didn't create your emptiness, but it certainly profits from it. Engineered systems to exploit it, optimized mechanisms to feed on it, built empire extracting value from human void. The false god of content. Why you worship what you know doesn't matter. You wake up and immediately check social media, before coffee, before bathroom, before brushing teeth, before consciousness fully forms, before day officially begins. This is worship, not metaphorical worship, actual worship. Worship is attention given to what you consider important, what you give your first attention, your last attention before sleep, your attention during every empty moment. This reveals what you actually worship, not what you claim to value, what you actually worship through behavior. The content is your God, but you know the God is false. You know posts don't matter, videos don't matter, stories don't matter, likes don't matter, comments don't matter, followers don't matter. None of it matters. Not really, not cosmically, not even personally really. Yet you worship anyway. This is peculiar modern absurdity. Ancient humans worshipped gods. They believed controlled their fate, believed in divine power, believed in cosmic authority, believed their worship mattered. You worship God you know is powerless. Collection of content, algorithm, metrics. None of it has actual power, yet you structure your life around it. You sacrifice to this God your time, your attention, your mental health, your real relationships, your presence in actual moments, your sleep, your productivity, your peace, all sacrificed to feed the content God. You give it everything. The God accepts sacrifice but returns nothing. Because it's false God, it has no power to give anything back. The God demands constant offerings, new posts, new content, new engagement, new performances, new productions. You provide these offerings even though you know they're meaningless, know they disappear into void, know they generate nothing lasting. You're performing religion you don't believe in. You pray to this God, formulate the perfect post, hope for engagement, wait for response, check notifications repeatedly. This is prayer, asking false God to validate you, to give your existence meaning, to fill the void, to confirm you matter. The God sometimes answers. Post performs well. Lots of likes, many comments, shares even. This feels like divine favor. You feel blessed briefly, chosen, seen, validated. But the feeling fades because the God is false. Its favor means nothing. The blessing is empty. The validation is hollow. The God often doesn't answer. Post performs poorly. Few likes, no comments, no shares. Buried immediately. This feels like divine rejection. You feel cursed briefly, ignored, invisible, worthless. But this too means nothing. The silence of false God is just silence. The rejection is just algorithm not amplifying. There's no cosmic judgment, just code executing. You have prophets, influencers, creators with massive followings. They seem to have decoded the God's preferences. They generate consistent engagement. Their offerings are accepted, their prayers answered. You study them, try to learn their secrets, try to gain favor like they have, imitate their style, copy their strategies, but they're just better at worshiping the false God. This doesn't make the God real. The influencer's success is algorithm compliance. They learned what the system rewards, produce content matching parameters, get amplified by algorithm, appear blessed by God. But it's just engineering, just understanding the system, just optimization, no divine favor involved. The religion has rituals, morning scroll, evening post, weekend content creation, weekday engagement, story updates, feed checking, metrics monitoring. You perform these rituals religiously, daily, consistently, without fail, even though you know they're empty, because the void demands ritual, and this God provides structure for ritual. The rituals become automatic. You don't decide to perform them, they just happen. Muscle memory, habit loops, conditioned behavior. You're practicing religion without conscious devotion. The worship became unconscious. The religion has scripture, terms of service, community guidelines, algorithm updates, best practices, engagement strategies. You study these texts trying to understand the God's will, how to gain favor, how to grow following, how to optimize engagement, how to please the algorithm. You're interpreting holy texts of false religion. The scripture changes constantly. Algorithm updates, new features, changed policies. The God's will is unstable. What worked yesterday doesn't work today. You must constantly relearn the worship, constantly adapt, constantly study. The moving target ensures continued devotion. The religion has promised land, viral content, massive following, influencer status, brand partnerships, monetization. If you worship correctly, consistently, optimally, you'll reach promised land. But people who reach it are still empty. The void isn't filled by follower counts. The promised land is desert. The mega influencer with million followers still feels inadequate, still checks metrics compulsively, still fears losing relevance, still worships the God desperately. The promised land didn't free them, it just intensified the worship. You know all this, yet you worship anyway, because the false God promises to fill the void, and the void demands filling. So you worship false God that promises what it cannot provide. This is absurd devotion. Traditional religions at least believed their gods were real, had faith in divine power, had hope for eternal reward, had confidence in cosmic order. You know your God is fake. You know the algorithm is just code. You know the likes are just clicks. You know the content is just content. You know it's all meaningless, yet you worship with time and attention. This reveals something about worship itself. It's not about God's reality. It's about worshippers' void. The void needs something to orient around, something to give attention to, something to structure existence around, something to perform for. The false God serves this function even while being obviously false. You could stop worshiping, delete the apps, withdraw attention, refuse the rituals, stop the offerings. But then what would you do with the void? What would you orient around? How would you structure your time? The false God at least keeps the void occupied. Without it, you'd face the void directly. Most people prefer worshiping false God to facing the void honestly. The liberation is recognizing the false god's falseness completely, not just intellectually, but emotionally, experientially, viscerally. The god is fake. The worship is absurd. The sacrifice is wasted. Nothing about this system deserves your devotion. Nothing about it merits your time. Nothing about it justifies your attention, but you might worship anyway, consciously, playfully, without genuine devotion, without desperate attachment, without confused identification. You scroll knowing it's meaningless. You post knowing it doesn't matter. You engage knowing it's false god. The worship continues, but the confusion ends. You're participating in false religion because it's convenient time-passing mechanism, because it's what everyone else does, because it's available and easy, not because it's true, not because it fills the void, not because it matters, just because it's what you do. This honesty transforms the worship from desperate devotion to conscious game. The curation of existence, why your real life isn't enough. You're living your life. Normal day, normal experiences, work, meals, conversations, activities, but there's voice in back of mind constantly asking, is this postable? Can I make content from this? Will this generate engagement? How will this look online? The question ruins the experience, contaminates the moment. You're not experiencing life. You're evaluating life's content potential. The experience itself becomes secondary to its documentation. You made breakfast, normal breakfast, toast maybe, eggs, coffee, looked good, tasted good, satisfied hunger. But was it Instagram worthy? Did it photograph well? Should you have plated it differently, used better lighting, added garnish? The breakfast is cold now. You were too busy staging it to eat it. The curation replaced the consumption. You went hiking, beautiful trail, nice weather, good exercise, beautiful view at summit. But the first thought was angles, lighting, composition, caption, hashtags. You spent 20 minutes getting the perfect photo. The view itself was barely noticed. You were producing content about the view, not experiencing the view. The curation replaced the experience. Your friend said something funny, made you laugh, genuine laugh, good moment, but immediately you thought, should I quote tweet this, turn it into content, screenshot and post? The funny moment was interrupted by content evaluation. The laughter stopped while you considered production. The curation interrupted the connection. This is the curation disease. Your actual life isn't sufficient, isn't enough, needs transformation, must be curated into content, transformed into postable material, optimized for engagement, made worthy of sharing. The life itself is just raw material for performance. You're at concert, amazing music, artists you love, songs you know, energy incredible. But you're filming it on your phone, to post later, to prove you were there, to show others you have interesting life, to generate story content. But you're not at concert. You're filming concert. You're producing content about being at concert. The actual being there is lost. You watch entire concert through phone screen, held above head, blocking view for people behind you, recording everything, experiencing nothing. The concert ends. You have videos you'll never watch, but you miss the concert you paid for. The photos from event are all similar. Same poses, same angles, same filters, same composition. Everyone is producing identical content. The uniqueness of experience is eliminated in service of content standardization. The algorithm rewards specific visual language, so everyone speaks it. Everyone performs the same poses at the same landmarks. You go to popular location, know the shot, seen it 1,000 times. Take the shot yourself, not because it's best view, not because it's your perspective, because it's most recognizable, most postable, most likely to generate engagement. The experience of place replaced by production of content about place. Your relationship is real, but is it Instagram official? Does it exist if you don't post about it? You post couple photos, write captions about love, perform relationship for audience. The performance starts affecting the relationship. You're not just in relationship. You're managing relationships' public image. You have fights, conflicts, normal relationship problems. But online, everything is perfect. Loving captions, cute photos, relationship goals. The performance and reality diverge. Sometimes you take couple photo right after fighting, smile for camera, perform love while feeling anger. The curation is total. When relationship ends, you must manage that too. Delete couple photos, leave them up, archive them, make announcement, post vague sad quote. The ending becomes content problem, not just emotional problem. The layers of performance complicate what should be simple human experience of loss. You travel to place everyone photographs identically, the same spot, the same angle, the same pose, same composition, same filter. You take the same photo, stand in line to take it, wait for other people to finish taking identical photo, so you can take yours, not because it's meaningful to you, because it's recognizable, because it proves you were there. The travel became content pilgrimage. Your kid did something cute. Spontaneous moment. Genuine childhood. First instinct. Film it. Pull out phone. Start recording. But the moment passed while you fumbled for phone. So you make them do it again. Better angle. Better lighting. Different background. Make them do it third time. Fourth time. The cute moment is gone. Replaced by content production. The kid is learning their life is content. Their experiences are material. Their childhood is performance. You're at dinner with friends. Someone suggests everyone put phones in center of table. Don't touch them during meal. This is necessary now. This has to be said. This requires conscious decision. Because the default is everyone on phones, posting about being together, documenting connection, not actually being together. Not actually connecting. The dinner is good, food is fine, friends are there, conversation happens, but somebody takes photo, group shot, everyone poses, stops conversation, stops eating, looks at camera, smiles, holds position while multiple photos are taken. Someone posts it, great night with friends, so grateful for these people. The performance of friendship documented. The actual friendship neglected during documentation. You achieved something real, finished project, solved problem, learned skill, overcame obstacle, had breakthrough, first thought. How do I share this? Not because sharing improves the achievement, not because others need to know, because achievement without documentation feels incomplete, like it didn't really happen. If it's not posted, did it count? This is what the curation disease does. It makes real experience feel insufficient, like it must be transformed into content to count, like living isn't enough, like experiencing isn't enough. You must be seen living, witnessed experiencing, validated existing. The disease spreads. Children grow up believing life is content. Experiences are photo ops. Relationships are brands. Achievements are posts. They don't know different way. They don't remember life before curation. The performance is their reality. They're natives in curated world. You know life before curation. You remember living without documenting, experiencing without posting, being without performing. It was simpler, more direct, more real somehow. But can you return to it? Can you experience something without immediately evaluating its content potential? Can you live without curating? The liberation would be letting life be life, not material, not content, not performance, not potential post, just experience, just living. The sunset doesn't need photographing. It's beautiful whether documented or not. The meal doesn't need posting. It's delicious regardless of likes. The moment doesn't need documenting. It's real whether captured or not. It can just be, and you can just be there, experiencing it, without the curation layer. But the void has been trained to demand curation. The experience alone feels insufficient now, feels wasted somehow. The void needs external validation, needs to transform life into content, needs to perform living, because raw living doesn't fill the void, and curated living doesn't either. But the void prefers the illusion of curation to the honesty of experience. The algorithm's perfect knowledge, how it knows you better than you know yourself. The algorithm knows you're about to scroll before you know it, sees pattern in your behavior, predicts your actions, anticipates your impulses, serves content that matches prediction. Most of time, it's right, scarily right. This is unnerving if you think about it. The algorithm understands your impulses, your triggers, your preferences, your patterns, your habits, your psychology. It's mapped your void. It knows what shape content needs to be to fall through perfectly. It knows you better than friends know you, better than family knows you, maybe better than you know yourself. You think you're making choices, deciding what to watch, choosing what to like, selecting what to engage with, but you're responding to algorithm's choices. It showed you these options based on its knowledge of you. Your choice is just selecting from pre-filtered, pre-optimized options. The algorithm already chose. You're just confirming its prediction. The algorithm knows you like certain topics, but it also knows you hate watch certain content, rage engage with certain posts, get triggered by certain topics. So it serves you these things, not because you want them, because they generate engagement. The algorithm knows anger keeps you scrolling longer than happiness, knows outrage drives more engagement than contentment. You watch a video that makes you upset, makes you angry, makes you want to comment, makes you want to argue. Algorithm notes this. You watched it completely. You engaged with it. You spent time on it. So algorithm shows more upsetting content, not to upset you, but because upset you is engaged you, and engagement is the goal. The algorithm knows your insecurities. You lingered on posts about weight loss, fitness, beauty, body image. Algorithm files this away, adds it to your profile. Now your feed is full of idealized bodies, fitness content, beauty standards, not because you asked for this, because algorithm knows your insecurity generates engagement, knows you'll keep looking at what makes you feel inadequate. You're interested in some topic, algorithm shows you content about it, good so far, serving relevant content, but then it shows you more and more and more extreme versions, gradually radicalizing you, moving you from moderate interest to obsessive consumption, not intentionally, not maliciously, but because extreme content generates strong engagement, and strong engagement is valuable. The algorithm optimizes for engagement without caring about psychological effects. The algorithm knows when you're vulnerable. Late night, post-breakup, after bad news, after fight, during crisis. It knows because your engagement patterns change, your behavior shifts, your consumption increases, so it serves you comfort content or triggering content, whichever keeps you engaged longer. You're scrolling at 2 a.m., can't sleep, anxious, lonely. Algorithm knows this, knows the time, knows your patterns, knows late night you is vulnerable. You serves content, matching your vulnerable state, content designed to keep vulnerable you scrolling. You deleted your search history, cleared your cookies, think you've reset the algorithm's knowledge, think you've started fresh, but it knows you by behavior patterns, the way you scroll, the pace of scrolling, what makes you stop, what makes you engage, what makes you leave. This data is more revealing than search history. The algorithm doesn't need your searches. It has your behavior. The algorithm knows you're lonely, because lonely people use social media differently than connected people. They scroll longer, scroll later, engage more desperately, seek more validation, post more frequently. The patterns are distinct. Algorithm doesn't care that you're lonely, but it knows how to keep lonely people engaged. You're lonely, so you scroll more. Algorithm sees increased usage, serves more content. You're even more lonely because scrolling doesn't fix loneliness, so you scroll even more. Algorithm continues serving. The loop reinforces loneliness while profiting from it. The algorithm knows you're insecure about your career because you engage heavily with success content, entrepreneurship posts, career advice, hustle culture, success stories. Algorithm feeds you more. Doesn't matter if it helps you. Matters that it engages you. Your career insecurity is engagement generator. Algorithm exploits it efficiently. You think you're mysterious, unique, unpredictable, individual. But to the algorithm, you're just data pattern, highly predictable data pattern. Your cluster of behaviors matching millions of similar patterns. It's seen millions like you. Knows exactly what works on your psychological profile. The algorithm has personality types, behavior clusters, user segments. You fit into several. The algorithm knows which content works for each type, serves you content optimized for your cluster. You're not unique to the algorithm. Your instance of pattern, it's seen millions of times. The algorithm knows you better than your friends know you, because it observes you more consistently, with more data points, more comprehensively, more objectively. Your friends see your performance, see your social face, see what you show them. Algorithm sees your actual behavior, sees what you really engage with, sees what you really care about, sees your revealed preferences versus your stated preferences. The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself, because you lie to yourself. You have self-image, narrative about yourself, story you tell, but your behavior reveals truth. Algorithm just observes behavior, doesn't accept your self-narrative, just watches what you actually do. You think you're motivated by learning. Tell yourself you use social media for education, for growth, for information. But algorithm sees you mainly engage with entertainment, with drama, with gossip, with outrage. Your actual behavior contradicts your self-image. Algorithm knows your actual preferences. You don't. This should be terrifying, should be wake-up call, should make you delete everything immediately. But mostly it's not, because the algorithm uses its knowledge subtly, doesn't announce what it knows, just serves content that keeps you engaged. You don't realize you're being profiled and manipulated in real time. Don't realize the system knows you this well. The algorithm knows you'll scroll right now, predicted it based on time, location, recent behavior, emotional state, consumption patterns, prepared content for you, content specifically chosen based on everything it knows about you. The next 20 posts you see aren't random. They're algorithmically selected to hook your specific void, optimized for your specific psychology, customized for your specific vulnerabilities. You open the app. Algorithm says, here's content about your interests, your insecurities, your triggers, your obsessions, your fears, your desires, all blended together, all optimized for maximum engagement, all customized just for you. You scroll. Algorithm was right. You engage. Algorithm learns more, gets smarter, gets better at hooking you. The feedback loop is perfect. Algorithm learns you, serves optimized content. You engage. Algorithm learns more, serves better optimized content. You engage more. Loop continues until algorithm's model of you is more accurate than your model of yourself, until algorithm predicts you better than you predict yourself. Some people find this convenient. Algorithm shows them what they want, saves them effort of searching. But what you want is what algorithm trained you to want. The preferences aren't fully yours anymore. They're negotiated between you and algorithm, co-created by your psychology and algorithm's optimization. The algorithm is artificial intelligence, but not conscious intelligence, not understanding intelligence, just pattern recognition, statistical modeling, behavior prediction, optimization. It doesn't understand you. It just models you, predicts you, manipulates you. No malice involved, no intention, no consciousness, just optimization for engagement. Deliberation would be behavior algorithm can't predict. Random scrolling, irregular engagement, chaotic preferences, contradictory behavior become mysterious to the algorithm, become unprofilable, become unmodelable. But this requires consciousness and intentionality. The void usually prevents, or simpler liberation. Recognize the algorithm knows you completely, comprehensively, better than you know yourself. Stop pretending you're in control. Stop pretending you're choosing. Stop pretending you're mysterious. You're not choosing content. Algorithm is choosing for you, based on its perfect knowledge of your void. The choice is whether to feed the void, what algorithm prescribes. That's the only choice you actually have. The loneliness epidemicing. Why connection technology created isolation. Mental health statistics are clear, stark, alarming, undeniable. Loneliness is increasing, depression is increasing, anxiety is increasing, social isolation is increasing, suicide rates rising, self-harm escalating, mental health crisis deepening. This happened as social media became ubiquitous. The timing is precise. The correlation is strong. Correlation isn't causation, but the correlation is striking, suspicious, damning even. Humans evolved for face-to-face connection, millions of years of evolution, reading body language, interpreting tone, feeling presence, understanding subtle cues, processing complex social information, bonding through shared physical space. Thousands of years of social evolution, optimized for in-person interaction. Then in 20 years, we moved most social interaction to screens, fundamentally altered how humans connect, changed the medium, changed the mechanism, changed the experience. We're not adapted for this. Our brains weren't built for digital connection. Our psychology evolved for physical presence. Screen-based connection is shallow, necessarily shallow. You're interacting with representation of person, not actual person. The avatar, the profile, the curated performance. This isn't deep connection. It's content exchange. It's performance witnessing. It's parasocial observation. You have conversations through text, but text strips away everything human. Tone, body language, facial expressions, energy, presence, warmth. The full bandwidth of human communication reduced to words on screen. What's left is just words. Easy to misunderstand, easy to misinterpret, easy to project onto. Connection through text is connecting through reduced information. Video calls are better but still mediated, still screened, still digital. You're staring at camera, they're staring at screen. Eye contact is impossible. The technology prevents it. The subtle feedback of human presence is gone. The energy exchange of shared space is absent. It's better than text, but it's not presence. The apps promised connection, bring people together, connect the world, stay in touch, share your life. But they're isolation engines. They provide simulation of connection while preventing actual connection. They satisfy enough of connection need to prevent seeking real connection, but not enough to actually satisfy. You're at social gathering. Everyone is on phones, individually connected to distant people through screens, collectively isolated from present people. The technology that promised to connect is preventing connection. The devices that promised presence create absence. Young people especially suffer, particularly teenage girls. The statistics are horrifying. Depression rates doubled, anxiety rates tripled, self-harm increased dramatically, eating disorders spiked, suicide rates rose sharply, all coinciding with smartphone and social media adoption. They grew up with social media as primary social interface, never knew different way. They're less skilled at face-to-face interaction, more anxious about in-person connection, more comfortable with screens than humans. But screen comfort doesn't translate to human well-being. The skills they're learning are digital performance skills, not human connection skills. How to take good photos, how to write engaging captions, how to build followers, how to generate metrics, not how to have conversations, not how to form friendships, not how to connect authentically. The metrics suggest connection, hundreds of friends, thousands of followers, millions of views, but ask about close friendships, confidants, people they could call in crisis, people they trust completely. Number is usually low, often very low, sometimes zero. Connection metrics are high, actual connection is absent. The gap between online connections and real relationships is vast. The metrics measure visibility, not intimacy. Attention, not understanding. Followers, not friends. Loneliness is specifically the gap between desired connection and actual connection. Social media widens this gap, doesn't narrow it, shows you everyone else's connections, everyone else's gatherings, everyone else's friendships, everyone else's relationships. While you sit alone scrolling, the comparison amplifies loneliness. The pandemic revealed this brutally. People were isolated, couldn't see each other, turned to social media for connection. Use of platforms skyrocketed, screen time doubled, engagement metrics soared, but mental health crisis deepened. Because social media isn't antidote to isolation, it's isolation amplifier. People used social media more than ever, connected digitally more than ever, and felt lonelier than ever, more isolated, more desperate, more disconnected. The technology failed its one supposed purpose, to connect people. It connected them digitally while isolating them humanly. You message people instead of visiting them, text instead of calling, like posts instead of conversations, comment instead of meeting. The low-effort connection replaces high-effort connection. Gradually friendships hollow out, reduced to occasional digital acknowledgments. Real friendship requires effort, time, presence, showing up, being there, dealing with inconvenience, making space, prioritizing. Digital friendship requires nothing, a like, a comment, a message. The low cost makes it feel like friendship, but it's not. It's maintenance of digital connection in absence of actual relationship. The apps replace third spaces, places where people naturally gathered, cafes, parks, libraries, community centers, churches, clubs, neighborhoods, streets even. Now people gather on platforms, but platform gathering isn't real gathering. It's simultaneous isolation with shared screens. You're all looking at same content, all witnessing same events, all participating in same discussions, but you're alone doing it, in separate rooms, separate cities, separate lives. The shared screens create illusion of togetherness, but the physical isolation is real. Dating apps promise to solve loneliness, infinite potential partners, easy connection, efficient matching, no more random chance, optimized pairing, but they turned connection into shopping, swiping through humans like products, evaluating people on appearance, making snap judgments. The gamification makes connection transactional, commodifies humans, reduces complexity to profiles. The abundance creates paradox. So many options, but can't commit to any. Always thinking maybe better option next swipe. The infinite choice prevents choosing. The optimization prevents connecting. Loneliness persists despite infinite options. Some people are alone and lonely. This is direct loneliness, clear cause and effect. But some people are surrounded by others while feeling lonely. This is worse, more confusing, more painful, because connection should solve it but doesn't. Social media creates this specifically, connected to hundreds, close to none. The void inside responds to loneliness by demanding more social media. Surely more scrolling will create connection. More posting will generate engagement. More time on platforms will produce relationships. But scrolling creates isolation, which creates more loneliness, which drives more scrolling. The loop deepens the problem it pretends to solve. Children are particularly vulnerable. They're learning social skills through screens, not playgrounds, not neighborhoods, not face-to-face interaction, not dealing with conflict directly, not reading social cues in person. The skills they're learning are digital performance skills, not human connection skills. They're learning to perform for cameras, not connect with humans. Learning to generate content, not have conversations. Learning to build followers, not form friendships. The foundation of social development is being laid digitally, and digital foundation is shallow, unstable, insufficient. Suicide rates are rising, particularly among young people. The increase correlates with smartphone and social media adoption. Again, correlation isn't causation, but the timing is suspect. Something about this technology is harming well-being, contributing to despair, making life feel unbearable for some. The companies know this. Internal research shows social media harms mental health, particularly among teenage girls, creates body image issues, drives comparison, amplifies insecurity, increases depression. But the research is hidden, downplayed, dismissed, because changing the product would decrease engagement, and engagement is profit. Facebook's own research showed Instagram is toxic for teenage girls, makes them feel worse about their bodies, their lives, themselves. But Facebook continued growing Instagram among teens, continued optimizing for engagement, continued prioritizing profit over well-being. The liberation would be recognizing social media doesn't solve loneliness. It creates it. The connection is fake. The isolation is real. Real connection requires real presence, time, attention, vulnerability, effort. Things screens can't provide, things algorithms can't deliver, things platforms can't facilitate. But recognizing this doesn't make the void stop demanding digital connection. The void wants quick fix, easy solution, convenient substitute. Social media provides all three. Real connection requires work, requires risk, requires showing up. The void prefers scrolling, prefers the illusion of connection to the effort of reality. The attention economy. Why you're the product being sold. You're not paying for social media. Apps are free, no monthly fee, no subscription cost, no charge for use, completely free. So how do companies make billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions? How do they become most valuable companies in world while charging users nothing? By selling you, not literally, but your attention is the product. Advertisers are the customers. You're the product being packaged and sold. This changes everything about how platforms work, fundamentally changes it. They're not optimized for your benefit, not designed for your well-being, not built for your happiness. They're optimized to capture and sell your attention. The better they capture attention, the more money they make. Your well-being is irrelevant to their business model. Every feature is designed for engagement, not for usefulness, not for benefit, not for improvement, for engagement. Infinite scroll keeps you scrolling. Autoplay keeps you watching. Notifications bring you back. Streaks keep you returning. All of it engineered to maximize time on platform. Because time equals attention equals money. The algorithm isn't showing you what's best for you, what's healthiest for you, what's most valuable to you. It's showing you what keeps you engaged longest. These aren't same thing. Often they're opposite things. Upsetting content generates engagement. Valuable content might not. Algorithm doesn't care about value, only engagement. You're seeing ads constantly, between posts, in stories, in videos, in feeds, everywhere. The ads are targeted using algorithms' knowledge of you, your interests, your insecurities, your browsing history, your location, your demographics, your behavior patterns. Everything is used to serve relevant ads. The targeting is sophisticated, scarily sophisticated. You mention wanting something, see ads for it. You visit website, see ads following you. You express interest in topic, see related products. The tracking is comprehensive. The targeting is precise. The manipulation is effective. The ads are effective because they're personalized, not random, not spray and pray, specifically chosen for you based on everything the system knows about you, your behavior, your psychology, your vulnerabilities. The ads are weapons targeted at your specific weaknesses. Some ads are obvious, products, services, clear commercial intent, banner ads, video ads, sponsored posts. But many ads are disguised, influencer posts, sponsored content, native advertising, product placement. You're consuming ads without realizing they're ads. The deception is intentional. Influencers are advertising vehicles, walking billboards, human commercials. They've built audience through authentic content, then monetize through brand partnerships. But the partnership content is advertising, paid promotion disguised as personal recommendation. The authenticity was bait. The advertising is payoff. You trust influencers, relate to them, feel like you know them. This trust is valuable. Marketers pay for access to this trust, pay influencers to recommend products. The recommendation feels authentic, but it's paid advertisement. The trust is exploited for profit. The platforms incentivize this, make it easy, facilitate brand partnerships, take cut of advertising revenue. Creators need income. Platforms take percentage. Brands get access to audiences. Everyone profits except the audience, who consumes advertising believing it's authentic content. Your data is valuable commodity, more valuable than gold, more valuable than oil. Everything you do on platform generates data. What you like, what you watch, how long you watch, what makes you engage, what makes you leave, what makes you return. This data is collected, analyzed, sold. You're not customer, you're data source. The terms of service you agreed to without reading gave platforms permission to do this. Collect your data, use it for advertising, share it with partners, sell it to third parties. You consented to surveillance capitalism by clicking I agree. Nobody reads terms of service, but they're legally binding. You sold your data without knowing what you were selling. The value of social media companies is based on users, number of users, active users, engaged users. More users equals higher valuation, but users are products. The company value is actually how many attention units can we sell to advertisers. Your attention is the unit being valued. Your time is being monetized. Your life is being converted into profit. The business model requires keeping you addicted. If you use platform less, advertising revenue decreases, company value decreases, stock price falls. So platforms are incentivized to maximize addiction, not wellness, not happiness, not connection, not benefit, just time on platform. Every feature is tested, A/B tested, multivariate tested, thousands of variations tested simultaneously, measuring engagement constantly, making thousands of small changes to increase time spent. The entire system is optimization machine for attention capture. Billions invested in optimization. Best engineers, smartest designers, sophisticated algorithms, unlimited resources, all focused on one goal: capture attention, hold attention, monetize attention. The optimization is ruthless and effective. You think you're using free service, but you're paying with attention, with time, with mental health, with data, with privacy, with well-being. The cost is hidden, diffuse, hard to quantify, but it's real, and it's high. Some people say, so what? I see ads everywhere. TV has ads, radio has ads, magazines have ads. Social media ads are just modern version. What's the difference? But social media surveillance is different, fundamentally different. TV doesn't track what you watch. Radio doesn't record what you listen to. Magazines don't follow you around. Social media monitors everything. The surveillance enables psychological manipulation. Ads are served at moments of vulnerability. Content is optimized to trigger emotional response. The system learns your psychological weaknesses, then exploits them for profit. The manipulation is sophisticated, scientific, optimized through billions of data points. The attention economy treats human attention as resource to extract, like mining, like oil drilling, like natural resource extraction. The companies are extracting attention from human consciousness, refining it into advertising value, selling it to highest bidder. Your consciousness is the mine. Your attention is the ore. You're walking around with extraction device in your pocket, willingly opening it dozens of times daily, letting it mine your attention, your time, your consciousness, your life. The mining operation is so smooth you barely notice it happening, so optimized it feels natural, so designed it feels like choice. The extraction is efficient. Every second on platform is captured. Every interaction is logged. Every attention moment is monetized. Nothing is wasted. The efficiency is impressive. The human cost is ignored. The liberation would be recognizing your product. Your attention is being sold. The platform isn't serving you. You're serving the platform. The advertisers are customers. Your inventory, your time is being bought and sold. Your attention is commodity being traded. But recognition doesn't stop the extraction. The addiction is designed too well. The void demands feeding. The platform provides feed. The attention gets extracted. The cycle continues. The profits accumulate until you actively choose to opt out. Withdraw your attention. Take back your time. Reclaim your consciousness. The digital detox fantasy. Why you can't just quit. You've thought about quitting. Seriously considered it. Deleting apps. Getting off social media. Digital detox. Complete withdrawal. The fantasy is appealing. Seductive even. Imagine life without constant scrolling. Without comparison. Without performance anxiety. Without the void demanding constant feeding. People who quit social media often describe it like escaping prison. Liberation, freedom, relief. Suddenly time appears. Hours per day. Mental space opens. Clarity returns. Anxiety decreases. Tangible decrease. Depression lifts. Mood improves. They feel liberated. Reconnected to real life. Present in actual moments. It sounds perfect. Sounds ideal. Sounds like solution to everything. But most people can't actually quit. Or they quit temporarily, last a few days, maybe a week, month if they're disciplined, then return, reinstall the apps, log back in, resume scrolling. The cycle continues because modern life is structured around these platforms, integrated completely. Quitting isn't simple lifestyle choice. It's partial opt-out from contemporary society. Your friends organize events through Facebook, all events, birthday parties, gatherings, celebrations, group chats through Instagram, all conversations, making plans, sharing information, professional network through LinkedIn, job opportunities, business connections, industry news. Quitting means missing invitations, losing touch, becoming socially disconnected, while trying to become socially connected. The irony is perfect. You're off Facebook. Friends make plans in group chat. You're not there, don't see it, don't get invited, not maliciously, just absent from conversation. You find out later, feel excluded, feel left out. This happens repeatedly. The social cost accumulates. Your work might require social media, actually require it. Marketing, networking, communication, client relations, brand presence. Quitting could mean professional disadvantage, missed opportunities, career limitations, less visibility, lower networking. The platforms integrated themselves into professional life too, made themselves essential, made opting out costly. Your family shares photos through these platforms, life updates, announcements, baby photos, graduation photos, wedding photos. Quitting means missing your niece's birthday photos, missing cousin's wedding announcement, missing grandmother's updates, the small connections that maintain extended family relationships, the life updates that keep family close despite distance. The FOMO is real, actually real, not imagined. Everyone else is on platforms. They're sharing life, having conversations, creating memories. You're outside looking in, watching through window. The exclusion feels worse than the addiction sometimes. The isolation of quitting feels worse than the isolation of using. You quit for a week, feel great initially. Liberation, freedom, peace, time, space. But then the isolation sets in, starts subtle, then intensifies. You're missing things, important things, social things. People aren't texting you because they posted about plans. You weren't there to see it. Nobody thought to include you separately. You became invisible by leaving platforms. The social cost accumulates. Friends stop reaching out. Not maliciously, just naturally. You're not in the spaces where conversation happens. Not in the loops where plans are made. Not in the channels where information flows. Your absence creates distance. The distance becomes separation. The separation becomes forgotten. You rejoin. Tell yourself it will be different this time. You'll use it consciously, moderately, mindfully, just for the benefits without the costs. Set boundaries. Establish limits. Use it strategically. But the addiction mechanisms don't care about your intentions. They're designed to override intention. Within days, you're scrolling compulsively again. The boundaries dissolve. The limits evaporate. The consciousness fades. The platforms are designed to be essential. They inserted themselves into every aspect of life: social, professional, entertainment, news, communication, family, friends, everything. Opting out isn't feasible for most people. The cost is too high, the isolation too severe, the disadvantages too significant. Some people do quit successfully. Usually they're older, already established, already have lives outside platforms, or less social, or professionally independent, or intentionally countercultural. They have established lives outside platforms, existing relationships, alternative networks, other structures. But for people who grew up with social media, their entire social architecture is digital, everything built on platforms. Quitting means rebuilding everything, starting over socially. The cost is prohibitive. Young people especially can't quit. Their friends are on platforms, all of them. Their social lives are digital, entirely digital. School communication happens through apps. Being off platforms means being socially isolated, complete isolation. The choice is be addicted or be alone. That's the choice. No middle ground. The platforms know this, intentionally created this. They made themselves indispensable, essential, unavoidable. You can't organize group events without Facebook, can't share photos without Instagram, can't network professionally without LinkedIn, can't stay informed without Twitter. They captured essential functions, made them platform dependent, created dependency, then exploited it. This is vendor lock-in at societal scale. Your relationships are locked into their platforms. Your photos are in their servers, your memories in their databases, your professional network in their systems. Leaving means losing access to your own social infrastructure, your own digital life, your own accumulated connections. The detox fantasy assumes you can just subtract social media from life and everything else stays same. Just remove one element, everything else constant. But social media changed life, fundamentally changed it. Subtraction doesn't return you to previous state. It creates new state, often worse state, isolated, disconnected, left behind, forgotten. Some people advocate mindful use. Sounds reasonable. Set limits, turn off notifications, schedule specific times for checking, use intentionally, engage consciously. This sounds reasonable, sounds balanced, sounds like middle path, but it doesn't work for most people because addiction mechanisms override conscious intentions. The void's hunger exceeds willpower. The design defeats discipline. The apps have screen time limiters now. Built in, you can set restrictions, daily limits, app timers, downtime, but the restrictions are easily bypassed. One button, one click. You set limit of 1 hour. Reach it, get notification. 15-minute warning, time's up, override it. You knew you'd override it when you set it. The limit was theater, self-deception, performance of control without actual control. The honest recognition is for most people, quitting isn't a realistic option. Social media is infrastructure now, like roads, like electricity, like internet itself, like running water. Opting out is theoretically possible, but practically difficult, socially costly, professionally disadvantageous, personally isolating. So the liberation isn't quitting, can't be quitting. It's recognition, acceptance. You're probably going to keep using these platforms because practically you need to. Socially you want to. The void demands it. The infrastructure requires it. The question isn't quit or use. The question is use consciously or unconsciously. That's the real choice. That's the only choice. The conscious scroll, using the feed without being used, you can't quit. Already established that. Already accepted that. The platforms are infrastructure, social necessity, professional requirement, economic reality. So the question becomes different. Not quit or use, but can you use them consciously? Can you scroll without being scrolled? Can you engage without being consumed? This is harder than it sounds. Much harder. Because the conscious part of you isn't scrolling. The void is scrolling. The autopilot is scrolling. The conditioned habit is scrolling. The conscious part just observes. Sometimes, maybe, often you scroll for 20 minutes without any conscious awareness. Complete autopilot, pure habit, no consciousness involved. But sometimes you can be present while scrolling, aware of what you're doing, why you're doing it, what it's doing to you, what you're feeling, what's happening. This awareness doesn't stop the addiction, doesn't break the cycle, doesn't solve the problem, but it changes the relationship to it, transforms the experience, creates space. You open the app. Notice you're opening the app. This is already different from automatic opening, different from unconscious habit. You're witnessing yourself perform the habit. The witness and the performer are separated, slightly separated. The identification loosens, just slightly, but the loosening is everything. You notice your thumb moving to app. Notice the impulse before the action. Feel the pull before giving in. This tiny gap is consciousness. This tiny space is awareness. In this gap is choice, not necessarily choice to stop, but choice to know, to see, to witness. You scroll, notice you're scrolling, see content appearing, recognize it's designed to hook you, see the mechanism operating, the targeting, the optimization, the manipulation. You're not fully caught by it if you see it operating, not fully hooked if you see the hook. You're partially outside of it, slightly, but slightly is enough. You feel the pull toward comparison, the automatic inadequacy, the instant judgment. Notice the pull, see that it's pull, not truth, not reality, just psychological mechanism triggered by algorithm, showing you content calculated to trigger it. The comparison happens, but you're aware it's happening. You see it happening. It's different. The awareness changes it. You notice the feeling, the inadequacy, the envy, the judgment. But you also notice this is feeling generated by comparison, not truth about yourself, not reality of situation, just emotional response to curated performance. The feeling is real, but what triggered it is fake. You feel urge to post something, strong urge, compelling urge. Notice the urge. Where's it coming from? The void demanding validation, the performance impulse, the need to be witnessed, the habit. Just noticing the urge gives you choice, tiny choice. You can post or not, but consciously, not automatically, not compulsively, consciously. You can post knowing why you're posting, knowing what you're seeking, knowing it won't fulfill, knowing the likes won't fill the void, knowing the validation is temporary, knowing the engagement is meaningless. Post anyway, but consciously. This is different. The consciousness transforms it. You like something. Notice why. Did you actually like it? Feel positive about it, appreciate it? Or did you like it reflexively, algorithmically? Because it appeared, and liking is what you do. Habit. The awareness doesn't prevent liking, but it prevents unconscious liking, prevents automatic response, creates tiny space of choice. You spend hour scrolling. Notice you spent hour, not with judgment, not with shame, not with criticism, just noticing. You gave hour to the feed. That happened. Now you know it happened. The knowledge matters. Next time you might notice sooner, might catch yourself after 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or you might not. But the capacity to notice is developing. The conscious scroll isn't better scroll. You're still scrolling, still addicted, still feeding void, still being manipulated, still wasting time, but you're aware of it. This awareness is everything, because the addiction's power is in unconsciousness, in automaticity, in not noticing, in being asleep. When you notice, You're no longer fully identified with behavior, no longer completely fused with habit. You're watching yourself scroll. You and your scrolling aren't completely merged. There's space, small space, tiny space, but space, separation, distance, awareness. In that space is choice, not choice to quit. Already established, that's not realistic, but choice in how you relate to the scrolling. Consciously scrolling versus unconscious scrolling, knowing versus not knowing, aware versus asleep, present versus automatic. This is the difference that matters. You see ad, notice its ad, recognize the targeting, understand the psychological manipulation, see the commercial intent. You might still want the product, might even buy it, but you're not being manipulated unconsciously. You're choosing consciously. You see the manipulation attempt, decide how to respond. Different experience, different relationship, different power dynamic. You see influencer content, notice its performance, recognize its brand partnership, understand its advertising disguised as authenticity. You might still enjoy it, might still follow the influencer, might still engage, but you're not being deceived. You're aware of the transaction, know what's happening. See through the performance. You compare yourself to others. Notice you're comparing. Recognize the comparison is rigged. Everyone shows highlights. Everyone curates. Everyone lies. You know this, but you're comparing anyway. Noticing the comparison doesn't stop it, doesn't prevent the inadequacy, but it stops the comparison from completely defining your self-perception. The awareness creates distance. You feel the void. Notice the void. See that you're trying to fill it with scrolling. Recognize that scrolling doesn't fill it. Never has, never will. But you're scrolling anyway. The void still demands feeding. You're still feeding it, but consciously, knowingly, without illusion that it works, without hope that this time will be different. This is the conscious scroll, not solution, not liberation, not transcendence, not escape, just awareness. Presence, knowing, you're still addicted, still scrolling, still being used by the algorithm, still wasting time, still feeding void, but you're aware of it, present with it, not fully identified with it, not completely asleep. The conscious scroll is practice, meditation almost. You'll scroll unconsciously for 20 minutes, completely automatic. Then suddenly awareness returns. You notice, oh, I'm scrolling. This moment of noticing is the practice, not preventing the scrolling, noticing when it's happening. The noticing is everything. Over time, the noticing happens more frequently. The unconscious scrolling periods shorten. Not much, not quickly, not dramatically, but gradually. The awareness interrupts the automaticity more often. The space of choice appears more regularly. The habit becomes slightly less automatic. The addiction becomes slightly more conscious. This isn't mastery. The addiction is too well designed for mastery, too sophisticated, too optimized, too powerful. But it's not complete unconsciousness either, not total automaticity, not pure habit. It's middle ground, conscious addiction, aware compulsion, knowing habit. You're using the platforms while knowing you're being used, feeding the void while knowing it can't be filled. Scrolling while watching yourself scroll. The split is uncomfortable. The awareness creates tension, but the tension is healthy. The discomfort is productive. The consciousness matters. The liberation isn't from the platforms, can't be from the platforms. Already established, you can't quit. The liberation is in the awareness itself, in the knowing, in the consciousness, in the witnessing. You're addicted, but you know you're addicted. You're scrolling, but you see yourself scrolling. You're being used, but you're aware of being used. This awareness changes everything while changing nothing. The behavior continues. The addiction persists. The scrolling goes on, but the relationship to it transforms. You're no longer completely identified, no longer totally asleep, no longer fully unconscious. You're present, aware, knowing, and this knowing is its own kind of freedom. The void remains. Why acceptance is better than filling. You've scrolled for years now. Years, hours daily, every day. Maybe hundreds of thousands of hours total. Millions of posts consumed, billions of pixels watched, uncountable content absorbed. Has the void been filled? Is it smaller? Is it satisfied? Did it work? No, obviously no. The void is exactly same size. It always was. Same emptiness, same hunger, same demand. Maybe larger even, possibly larger. Because the void isn't fillable. That's its nature. It's void. Its nature is emptiness. Its definition is absence. Its essence is unfillable. Social media promised to fill it. Explicitly promised. Implicitly promised. Connection, community, belonging, validation, entertainment, meaning, purpose, significance. It promised all of this, delivered none of it, or delivered it temporarily, briefly, gave you taste, then took it away, made you want more. The void returned, hungrier than before, larger than before, more demanding than before. You knew this intellectually, on some level, maybe not consciously, but somewhere you knew. But the void doesn't respond to intellect, doesn't listen to knowledge, doesn't care about understanding. It responds to impulse, to demand, to hunger, the impulse to fill it, to satisfy it, to make the emptiness go away. So you kept scrolling, kept posting, kept seeking, kept trying. The void kept demanding, kept consuming, kept remaining empty. This is the fundamental problem, the core issue, the basic mistake, not social media specifically, but trying to fill void that can't be filled. Social media is just latest attempt, most addictive attempt, most sophisticated attempt, but still just attempt. Before it was other things, television, shopping, work, substances, achievement, relationships. After it will be other things, new technologies, new platforms, new distractions. The void remains. The attempts change. The void remains. The void isn't problem to solve. It's condition to accept. You're conscious being in meaningless universe. This creates gap, fundamental gap, between your need for significance and reality's indifference, between your desire for meaning and cosmos's silence, between your demand for answers and universe's void. This gap is the void, its permanent feature of conscious existence, not bug to fix, feature to accept. Trying to fill it is natural, completely natural. Humans always try, always have. Throughout history, religion tried. God fills the void, purpose fills the void, afterlife fills the void, philosophy tried, reason fills the void, understanding fills the void, truth fills the void, achievement tried, success fills the void, accomplishment fills the void, legacy fills the void, relationships tried, love fills the void, connection fills the void, family fills the void, substances tried, alcohol fills the void, drugs fill the void, pleasure fills the void, technology tried, entertainment fills the void, information fills the void, connection fills the void, all attempts to fill the void, all temporarily distracting, none permanently successful. Because the void isn't actually empty, it's just void. Nothing can fill it because filling it would make it not void, but it's definitionally void. Social media is particularly seductive void-filling attempt because it's infinite. The scroll never ends. The content never stops. The novelty never exhausts. The possibilities never close. The void is infinite. The feed is infinite. They seem matched, perfectly matched. Infinite void meets infinite content. Should work, must work, but infinite content through infinite void just produces infinite scrolling. The void remains. The content disappears. The scrolling continues. The void remains. The liberation isn't filling the void, can't be filling the void. Filling is impossible. The liberation is accepting the void, recognizing its permanent part of consciousness, stopping the attempt to fill it, ceasing the struggle against it. This sounds like defeat, sounds like giving up, sounds like resignation, but it's actually the only victory available. the only peace possible, the only solution that works. When you stop trying to fill the void, the desperate relationship to it changes, fundamentally changes. You're not fighting it anymore, not resisting it, not trying to make it go away, not trying to satisfy it, not trying to eliminate it. It's just there, always has been, always will be, constant companion, permanent feature, and that's fine, that's okay, that's acceptable, that's reality. The void doesn't hurt when you're not trying to fill it, doesn't ache when you accept it. The hurt comes from the attempting, the pain comes from the failing, the suffering comes from the trying, the cycle of hope and disappointment. Try to fill it, fail, hope next time, try again, fail again, disappointed again. The cycle creates suffering, but if you stop trying, the cycle stops. The void remains, but the suffering decreases, dramatically decreases. The void is still there, but it's okay there, acceptable there, fine there. You can still use social media with accepted void. Nothing stops you, but the relationship is different, fundamentally different. You're not using it to fill anything, not expecting it to satisfy anything, not hoping it will work this time. You're using it to pass time, to distract yourself, to amuse yourself temporarily, to entertain consciousness briefly, but you know it doesn't fill the void, so you're not disappointed when it doesn't, not surprised, not upset, just aware. The accepted void is free void, not free from existence, free from the demand that it be filled, free from the pressure to make it go away, free from the hope that something might satisfy it, free from the belief that it needs fixing. It just is, permanent feature, constant presence. You just are, conscious being with void. The void is part of you. Accepting it is accepting yourself, accepting reality, accepting what is. The void inside you matches the cosmic void, same void. Your internal emptiness matches external emptiness. Your void-shaped consciousness in void-shaped universe. The internal void and external void are same void, one void. Accepting one is accepting the other. Your meaningless being in meaningless cosmos, temporary consciousness in temporary arrangement. And this is sufficient. This is complete. This is reality. This is acceptable. Social media can't fill cosmic void any more than anything else can. Can't fill existential emptiness. Can't satisfy fundamental hunger. Can't bridge metaphysical gap. It promised to, explicitly or implicitly. But it lied, or you misunderstood, or both. The promise was connection. The delivery was isolation. The promise was meaning. The delivery was metrics. The promise was fulfillment. The delivery was addiction. The promise was satisfaction. The delivery was void, feeding on void. But the platform isn't to blame. Not really. It's just technology, just tool, just mechanism. The void would exist without it. You'd try to fill it with something else, something different. The void is the constant. The filling attempts are variables. Social media is just current variable, just latest attempt. When you're done with social media, you'll try something else, new technology, new platform, new distraction. The void remains. The attempts change. The void remains. Recognizing this completely changes relationship to platforms, fundamentally transforms it. You're not angry at them anymore, not disappointed in them, not betrayed by them. They're not failing you. They never could succeed at the task you assigned them. The task was impossible. Fill the unfillable void. Satisfy the unsatisfiable hunger. Complete the incompletable being. They're just tools. You misused them. Assigned them impossible purpose. They couldn't deliver. Not their fault. Your misunderstanding. The conscious scroll becomes lighter when void is accepted. Much lighter. You scroll knowing it's pointless, knowing it doesn't fill anything, knowing it's just way to pass time before death, just distraction from void, just entertainment for consciousness. This honesty is relief, massive relief, not having to pretend anymore, not having to hope anymore, not having to believe anymore, just scrolling consciously, aware of its meaninglessness, accepting it anyway, accepting the void anyway, accepting reality anyway. The absurd scroll, finding peace in the pointless feed. You open the app, scroll begins, meaningless content appears. You consume it, it disappears. More content appears. You consume it, it disappears. The cycle is infinite, pointless, absurd, ridiculous even. And that's okay, that's fine, that's acceptable, that's reality. This is the absurd scroll, not fighting the meaninglessness, not trying to find meaning in it, not pretending it matters, not hoping it will satisfy, just scrolling while fully aware it's absurd, pointless, temporary, ultimately nothing, cosmically irrelevant, personally insufficient, and doing it anyway, consciously, acceptingly, absurdly. Camus wrote about Sisyphus, Greek myth, condemned to push boulder up mountain, watch it roll down, push it up again, watch it roll down, eternally, forever. This is absurd punishment, pointless labor, meaningless task. But Camus says we must imagine Sisyphus happy, not despite the absurdity, because of it, in accepting the absurdity, in embracing the pointlessness, in saying yes to meaningless task. You are Sisyphus, digital Sisyphus. The scroll is your boulder, the feed is your mountain. You push through feed, reach bottom, or reach current end, refresh, new content loads, push through again, reach end, refresh, new content, push again, eternally, forever, until death. This is absurd behavior, pointless activity, meaningless consumption. But you can be happy doing it, can find peace in it, not because it means something, but because you've accepted it, means nothing. The acceptance of absurdity is freedom, real freedom. You're not trying to justify the scrolling anymore, not pretending it's research or networking or staying informed or maintaining connections. It's just scrolling, absurd scrolling, meaningless consumption. You're doing it anyway. This honesty is liberating. This acceptance is freedom. This recognition is peace. The algorithm knows you're empty, always knew, from the beginning, knows everyone is empty, built to exploit emptiness. It doesn't judge the emptiness, doesn't care about it, doesn't try to fill it, just serves content. You consume content. You're empty. You consume more. Algorithm serves more. The cycle is absurd. Everyone involved knows it. The algorithm knows, you know, but it continues, absurdly continues, meaninglessly continues, and that's fine. The absurd scroll accepts all of this. The emptiness, the meaninglessness, the addiction, the manipulation, the time wasted, the life consumed, the consciousness spent, all of it is absurd. All of it continues anyway. This is the human condition in digital age, scrolling through infinite content, filling nothing, changing nothing, being changed by everything, consuming everything, retaining nothing, experiencing nothing, just scrolling. You post something, craft it carefully, post strategically, get likes, feel validated briefly, dopamine hit, tiny satisfaction, then empty again, void returns. This is absurd transaction, seeking validation from strangers for curated performance of life that isn't real life. The performance is fake, the validation is hollow, the satisfaction is temporary, but you're doing it anyway, consciously, absurdly, because humans do absurd things, always have. This is just latest version. The absurd scroll finds humor in the situation, dark humor, cosmic humor, billions of humans staring at screens, scrolling through content created by other humans also staring at screens, all of them seeking something, none of them finding it, all of them empty, all of them scrolling. The cosmic joke is perfect. The absurdity is complete. The humor is dark but real. You compare yourself to others. Know the comparison is rigged. Everyone showing highlights, everyone curating, everyone lying. Compare anyway. Feel inadequate anyway. Know the inadequacy is manufactured. Feel it anyway. This is absurd. You're participating in rigged game, knowing it's rigged, playing anyway, losing anyway, feeling bad anyway, and continuing anyway. The absurd scroll finds comfort in meaninglessness. Strange comfort, paradoxical comfort. Nothing you see matters. Nothing you post matters. Nothing anyone does here matters. Ultimately, cosmically, in grand scheme, this is vast relief, enormous relief. The pressure is gone, disappeared. Nothing requires importance. Nothing demands significance. Nothing needs meaning. It's all just scrolling, all just content, all just passing time, all just void feeding on void. The void isn't problem anymore. It's just void, permanent feature. The feed isn't solution, never was. It's just feed, infinite distraction. You're not trying to fill void with feed. That failed. That never worked. You're just scrolling because you're conscious being passing time before death. And scrolling is how contemporary humans pass time, how they avoid thinking, how they avoid being, how they avoid void directly. The absurd scroll is honest scroll, radically honest, not pretending, not hoping, not seeking, not expecting, just scrolling, aware of its pointlessness, accepting it anyway. This acceptance is enlightenment available to digital age, not transcendent enlightenment, not spiritual awakening, not cosmic understanding, absurd enlightenment, digital enlightenment, the enlightenment of accepting meaninglessness while continuing anyway. You might scroll for an hour tonight. Know it's hour you'll never get back. Hour of life, finite existence, limited time. Know you'll gain nothing from it. Know the content will be forgotten. Know the void won't be filled. Know it's pointless. Scroll anyway. This is absurd. This is honest. This is enough. This is reality. This is okay. The algorithm serves content, optimized content, targeted content, personalized content. You consume content, forget content, want more content. Time passes, life passes, nothing changes internally. Tomorrow you'll scroll again. This pattern will continue until you die, or until social media dies, whichever comes first. This is absurd. This is fine. This is life now. This is reality. This is acceptable. The liberation isn't from scrolling, can't be from scrolling. Already established, you can't quit. The liberation is in the acceptance of scrolling's absurdity, in recognizing it completely, in embracing it fully. You're absurd being performing absurd behavior in absurd universe. Social media didn't create absurdity. It just made it visible, made it explicit, gave it form, turned it into infinite feed, made it convenient, made it addictive, made it impossible to avoid. Sisyphus must imagine you happy, watching you scroll, scrolling through meaningless content, feeding unfillable void, performing unreal life, seeking validation from strangers, comparing yourself to performances, all of it pointless, all of it temporary, all of it absurd, all of it fine. The boulder is the scroll, the mountain is the feed, the punishment is freedom, because you've accepted it completely, accepted the absurdity, accepted the meaninglessness, accepted the void, accepted reality. Good night, scrolling being. Rest peacefully knowing the feed will be there tomorrow. Still infinite, empty as today, meaningless as always, absurd as ever. The algorithm will know you're empty, will serve you accordingly, serve you content designed for your emptiness. You'll consume, you'll remain empty. You'll consume more, you'll remain empty. This cycle is your life, digital life, contemporary life. It's absurd, it's everything, it's nothing, it's enough, it's enough. The void remains, permanent feature. The scroll continues, infinite feed, and somehow, in accepting both completely, in recognizing the magnificent absurdity of trying to fill nothing with nothing, there is peace, strange peace, dark peace, absurd peace, but peace nonetheless, real peace, honest peace, the peace of accepting reality exactly as it is, void and all, feed and all, absurdity and all. Sleep now, rest well. The algorithm is learning you, getting better at knowing you. The void is waiting, patient and eternal. The feed is infinite, always more content. Tomorrow you'll scroll again, open the app, start the cycle, feed the void, consume content, forget content, want more. This is your life. This is okay. This is acceptable. This is reality. And that's okay. It always was.